They missed key evidence, contaminated the crime scene and may have mistaken a herbal remedy for steroids. The prosecution case against Oscar Pistorius seemed to begin to unravel today on the second day of his bail hearing. The Paralympic star denies murdering his girlfriend, claiming he thought he was shooting an intruder. But today, the detective in charge admitted a series of blunders in the investigation as he struggled to answer questions from the defence team. Our chief correspondent Alex Thomson has this report.
After days of trial by media feeding frenzy, Oscar Pistorius arrived at court today to hear at last a series of uncontested facts laid before the court and thus before the world. Uncontested and deeply damaging to the prosecution case. Under questioning by defence lawyer Barry Rue, the police investigating officer Hilton Burta admitted that the police had missed a cartridge. It was later found in a lavatory basin. That they didn't check properly calls Oscar Pistorius made to the emergency services, that they told Mr. Pistorius' brother initially they had no problem with him getting bail, that they said a key witness was actually 600 metres away. This was later changed to 300 metres. He admitted police had contaminated the crime scene and that he'd failed to read properly a medicine bottle. The police said it was testosterone, a banned substance. The defence say it's a legal herbal remedy. That key prosecution eyewitness said she'd heard a loud argument and then 6 shots, but the police were confused as to whether she was 600 or 300 metres away and admitted she was plain wrong on those shots. 4 were fired, not 6. Under cross-examination, Mr. Burta also admitted this woman couldn't say if the noise was coming from Oscar Pistorius or Reeva Steenkamp. Under pressure, under cross-examination, for the first time relatives of Mr. Pistorius were smiling. It all built to one climactic exchange. Mr. Rue asked,
"You couldn't find anything that was inconsistent with Oscar Pistorius' version?"
Mr. Burta replied,
"Yes, that's what I said."
So the police cannot find anything to contest in Oscar Pistorius' written explanation that he got up from bed and shot what he believed to be an intruder but was in fact his 29-year-old girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp. But this is a bail hearing, not a trial. Forensic and other evidence is not yet fully established. Prosecution and defence cases limited. The determination here is whether or not Mr. Pistorius gets bail, and an exchange just before the adjournment threw some light, perhaps, on that. Magistrate Desmond Nair asked Mr. Burta,
"Do you subjectively believe that he would take the opportunity, being who he is, using prosthetics to get around, to flee South Africa?"
Mr. Burta answered,
"Yes."
At that point, court ushers had to silence laughter from the public gallery. For the first time, the court has been shown a plan of the house, and the prosecution case is premeditated murder, that Oscar Pistorius strapped on his legs, made his way from his bed and out. He entered the bathroom. Police say the trajectory of 4 bullets fired through the locked lavatory door was downwards, suggesting, they say, that he was upright and wearing his artificial legs. Mr. Pistorius denies this. It was a good day for the defence team, and the police were made to look at times shambolic. But it's simply a bail hearing, not a trial. Decision on bail expected either tomorrow or Friday.
Alex Thomson reporting now. Joining us now from Johannesburg is South African journalist Deborah Patter, who was in court in Pretoria earlier. Deborah Patter, I mean, it seemed very much as if the police had a very bad day of it, but did it go all against them, or was Pistorius in a bit of trouble too?
Well, let me put it like this, John. The day began as the defence, the prosecution led its case with Oscar Pistorius once again sobbing uncontrollably as they led their evidence. But by the end of the day, it was a very different Oscar Pistorius we saw. He was a lot more confident, looked a lot more relaxed. Certainly, his defence team won a significant victory today. When the prosecution began leading its evidence, it seemed very strong. They poked holes into Oscar Pistorius' affidavit that he had led yesterday, pointing out most significantly that it seemed that he had been wearing his artificial limbs, which would suggest premeditation. This is key to their argument. But then once the defense team came on, under the masterful direction of Barry Roux, they poked holes in this, suggesting perhaps that there was no physical evidence that the state had to show that Oscar Pistorius' version of events was not in fact true. So as one criminal lawyer commented to me, it doesn't matter how good the skills of the prosecution are, if the investigating officer caves in the stand, then it's bad news, and cave he did.
Well, this guy, Barry Roux, who's leading the defence, I mean, presumably the team is the best that money can buy, because, of course, Pistorius got plenty of that.
Well, he's got enough money to certainly ensure that the people that are directing his defense are the best. Barry Roux is an astute legal mind. He's been around for a long time in South Africa. Many years back, he was admitted to the bar, and he certainly showed his finesse in court today. Most significantly, I think he showed that not only is the police's case not watertight, but that in fact the police may have contaminated evidence, with their investigating officer conceding that he walked onto the crime scene without wearing his foot gloves, and in so doing contaminated the scene because there simply weren't any to be found. This kind of concession so early on, remember this is a bail hearing, we're not even into the full court hearing yet, is not good for them at all.
Deborah Patter, thank you very much indeed for talking with us. Matt.